Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast.
Hiya, boys and girls, and welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast. My name is Matt, one of your two hosts. With me, as always, my brother from another mother on the East Coast, Mysterious Mike Talent.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Was that from It, Matt? What was that welcoming?
Yes, it was from It. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I know. I've done that intro before. I just was trying to get it going, and that's Pennywise. And I think does he go hiya or does he go hi?
I don't know. I think it's kind of I think it's hiya. I don't know.
I think it's hiya. Yeah.
It sounded like it to me.
Hiya, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Pennywise.
Yep. Sounds like it.
Okay, Mike, so on the complete opposite spectrum, not a horror movie, but definitely just as atrocious. We're talking about a movie that you knew nothing about, that I knew a little bit something about, saw the trailer, because I am a watcher of this new streaming service because they took away my HBO Go. It is HBO Max's first original called An American Pickle.
Yes. Yep. And I'll do the rundown, Matt.
It's literally about pickles.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So, Mike, go ahead, do it. Since you already started, Mike, give us the rundown for this incredible film.
All right. So this is directed by Brandon Trost, written by Simon Rich. It's starring Seth Rogen, Sarah Snook, Molly Everson. And this literally is about a pickle. An immigrant worker in a pickle factory is accidentally preserved for 100 years and wakes up in modern-day Brooklyn.
Well, Mike, I'm going to start off this one. Normally I ask you, but I don't care. I'm going to start off this one. I thought
okay.
this was going to be a lot funnier. It was not.
Yeah, Matt, I know nothing about this, like you said, so I just watched it. I went in, I was like, I'm not even going to watch a trailer. I'm just going to watch it. And,
Seth Rogen, I don't know if he's been having issues or he's just like, screw it. This sounds like a fun idea or what. But this was not... It had funny moments, but for the most part, this movie's very mean and very dark, and I'd put it in the scale of a dark comedy. It's pretty messed up. And you think it's going to be funny because the premise is a dude is literally pickled in a vat of pickles for 100 years. Perfectly preserved. So you think, oh, this is going to be great. It's going to be hilarious. No, it's dark. It's mean. It's cruel.
Yeah, it was dark at times. It had a feel to me of some of Adam Sandler's goofy movies. Some of the plot, like 100 years in a pickle. I don't know, whatever, a pickle jar, not a jar, a pickle container.
I'm going with vat.
Vat, yes. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Because an entire person fell in it with a whole bunch of pickles.
Yeah.
And salt.
All because the rats were chasing him.
Spoilers, my God.
Yeah, well.
It's okay. I don't think many people should watch this, so we're going to spoil it.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. For a first try for HBO Max, this was a little bit of a disappointment. HBO Max is super confusing on what the difference between HBO Max and HBO Go is. I guess HBO Max has more content.
Well, the difference is that HBO Go doesn't exist anymore and HBO Max does.
Right.
HBO Now is where it gets really confusing because HBO Now was just HBO, much like HBO Go was, but you paid a fee for HBO Now. And they got rid of HBO Go, so they still have HBO Now, and they have HBO Max, but I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah, and
do we really need another streaming service, Mike?
No, we don't. And I think if you have HBO now, you get access to HBO Go Max. And then if you have cable subscription to HBO, you also get access to HBO Max.
That's how mine is.
It's confusing.
I have HBO on my AT&T Now TV, DirecTV Now, whatever the hell it is. I pay way too much for it, but I'm kind of glad I have it now because of I can watch my Diamondbacks, and they are stinking it up. Except for last night, they did quite well against the Rockies, which was great. But
oh yeah, you do the sports ball.
Yeah, sports ball. I like my baseball sports ball. You like your football sports ball? I like my baseball sports ball. Yes, there's like 10 times the games, and I'm not as religious as you are where I do nothing but watch like sports ball all day on Sunday. I'll breeze in and out of the games when I can. You know, life comes first. I'm sorry. But
well, I mean,
there's going
to be no season for football, so
are they going to? I know they killed college. I haven't heard anything about
We'll see.
NFL.
We'll see.
But,
I don't know, man. I'm skeptical.
So I got one here. Peacock, another streaming service, just came out last week, and I was trying, but it's free with ads. I still can't install it on my Roku, much like HBO now. And the only reason I wanted to install it for anything was to watch some TV shows, and it's just like, these freaking streaming services are getting out of control. There are so many of them. Yes, we have had this conversation before. I should stop it right now. I'm just ranting and saying, Jesus, the whole point of the online viewing stuff was to make shit cheaper, and now it is more expensive than cable ever was.
And it's super confusing. Like, they really did a good job of screwing it up.
Yeah. Oh, they screwed it up bad. Real bad. Netflix, thank you. I will keep subscribing to you forever because you do it right.
Yes,
and Hulu.
Netflix is
Hulu's
awesome.
okay.
Netflix I love for the no ads, and their original content is just really starting to kick butt. I don't know.
It's been kicking butt.
They have some stuff that's like, meh, but they also have a lot of good stuff. So I like that they're just kind of producing all kinds of different things. I know they're using the what we watch to drive what they make more of, and that's cool too. So, I mean, I guess the old traditional way of doing TV was somewhat like that, but I feel like the numbers, they have so much better metrics on from like Netflix, who can record how much you watch it, how quick you watch it, all kinds of things.
So, to get back on track, American Pickle, the whole point of that rant that Mike and I just went on is that American Pickle, an original, the reason why they do the originals, much like Netflix, is to get subscribers. Well, their first one out of the gate, it was rough with Netflix too. Their first few out of the gate were not the best in the world. But this is not a movie that I would recommend to push on people to subscribe to HBO Max. I think the HBO content is 100 times better than this. You know, the shows and the backlogs of The Wire and Sopranos and Band of Brothers and stuff like that. Oh, so much better.
Yeah, those are really good. And then shout out for McMillions. I really liked that. Just recently I watched that. That was cool.
I have not gotten to watch that yet. I would like to. I heard that is quite the fascinating documentary.
It was neat.
So, Mike, speaking about things that are preserved.
Oh, good one, dude. Good one. I like it.
Do you have a question for me, Mike?
Oh, yes, I do, Matt. What kind of preservatives are in the latest beer that you're drinking today?
Well, Mike, thank you for asking. I am continuing my drink through the mail delivery beers. I think this is the only one I have not talked about on the podcast yet. It is from Wooden Cask Brewing Company. It is their Reformation Scottish Stout. And it's like it's not like stout, like hardcore stout, like a Guinness, but it definitely does have that Scottish flavor in it, like my Kilt Lifters. And it's a interesting beer.
Okay. Oh, that's cool, man. I am once again drinking an IPA.
I wouldn't
IPA.
expect anything less from you, Mike.
It's probably what I would consider one of my go-tos these days, and it's Sierra Nevada's Hop Bullet. It's a double IPA. Shoots you with a bullet of hops in your mouth.
In the mouth, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Some might call it the money shot.
Steve still has that as his ringer. I think it's when I text him or something, it does that. Because when you're talking, Anyways, I don't know what podcast number that was, but it was hilarious. I've never genuinely laughed that hard in a long time. It was pretty good, and all from a word that you said. I think it was the Poindexter Awards, maybe the second one
might have been, yeah.
I think it was. Anyways. All right, Mike. Well, that means it's my turn to ask my question. And let's see if you were able to find it. Now, so far, we're still rolling, even though you missed one. Our good buddy from Signals AZ, Austin, pointed out the connection. So we're keeping the connection alive. I've lost count on how many times. But, Mike, how does an American Pickle relate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
All right, Matt. Thanks for asking. This one wasn't too hard. I was a little worried about it because it has a very little bit of cast. It's mostly just Seth Rogen. But I did find that the composer in this movie, Michael Giacchino, was also the composer for Spider-Man: Far From Home. So,
well done, sir.
Yeah,
well done. Okay, so for those of you new to the Real Film Nerds podcast, this is where we legitimately spoil the movie. We've had some spoilers here in the beginning of this, such as being chased into a vat of brine by rats.
Whoa, I didn't say all that.
Okay, fine. Close enough. But let's roll with it, Mike. I'll go ahead. I'm going to throw to you since I took precedence earlier. Mike, spoil an American Pickle, or let's talk about the parts that you would like to spoil or that should be spoiled.
So this movie kind of has a goofy kind of origin or beginning, kind of a make-believe situation, and that reminded me of the Adam Sandler type movies, like a Zohan movie, or even like let's see, I'm trying to think of some other fantastical. Was it Little Nicky? Some of those just like kind of ridiculous movies.
Nicky.
Yeah,
that was fun.
But anyway, but this movie does have some dark stuff, and the back and forth between the two characters. I was going to say the Seth Rogens.
The Seth Rogens, yeah.
Is brutal at times. Man, like it's
dude, it's downright cruel, man.
Yeah. I like Herschel as his character. I think he's a fine, like simple guy. But man, some of his beliefs from his time period are harsh.
Oh yeah, especially once he's introduced to Twitter and those beliefs are put out for the public to see.
Oh geez, the Twitter. She's like, "Are you sure you want me to send this?" Yes. Tweet this. Tweet.
He was just a simple ditch digger. Just minding his own business, digging his ditches, and every single time he dug something, his shovel would break, which was kind of funny. Did you notice that when they were back in time telling Herschel's story before he fell in the brine, it was shot 4:3, and then the instant it turns to modern day, it's back to 16:9.
I did, and then Matt, what is the style when it was only in focus in like a circle, and then it was blurry on the outsides?
It's just the shallow depth of field.
Okay, like they just had that the whole time.
Yeah.
During those scenes, and I wasn't sure if that was just effects or if maybe that was something to do with the camera they were using or whatever.
You can do it both ways. Lots of people have that on their cell phones, the portrait mode. Well, not, again, being a photographer, I can really go into this. I'll just make it somewhat quick. But the portrait mode, your camera on your cell phone is fixed at affinity. Like, your camera phone basically doesn't focus really much. I mean, it does a little bit. And so what portrait mode does is it throws everything that's not a person out of focus in the background, and it does it all through software. Whereas in my world, the real photo world, we do it with our lenses and our film speed and our distance to the subject and stuff like that. But now, thanks to logarithms, everything looks like stuff that I spend lots of money to do and have spent years learning how to do. All from a logarithm. Thanks, Mike. You and your programmer buddies.
Yeah. No, I know. They're taking over the world, man. One job at a time. You watch this pandemic. I saw that White Castle is about to start having burger flipping robots. So goodbye burger flipping jobs.
Oh, hell. I still haven't even been to the one here. We finally got one in Arizona, in Scottsdale.
You haven't been?
And I have not been.
Dude.
I need to go. I know.
You gotta go with Frank, man. You guys can do a Portillo's White Castle run.
No. He doesn't like White Castle.
All right.
They're right next to each other, though. They are.
Dude, like you can just walk to there and then
it's pretty close. Yeah, it's like the next exit. Yeah. But no, I need to go there. Now, typically, by this time in the year, if it was a normal year without the pandemic, I would have made probably at least 8 or 9 trips down to Phoenix and back by now. But I have only made like one since there was no sports ball.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Yeah, especially for my bank account.
Yeah, I thought you were going to mention, Matt, that at the end of this month, usually something very important comes out. The PSL.
The PSL?
Come on, man. Pumpkin spice latte? That's your favorite.
Oh, dude, no. I don't go to the Bucks. They charge, if I'm spending more than $3 for a drink, it better have booze in it.
Yeah, I know. Jeez.
I'm sorry. I brew my own coffee at home. I have my creamer. That's what I do. I do my thing. I'm out. I do not go to Starbucks. If other people buy me Starbucks, fine. But no. If it doesn't have booze in it, I'm not paying that much for a damn drink. If they start putting bourbon or some rum or something, yeah, I will go get my Starbucks coffee every morning. And it'll be a great freaking work day.
Gotcha. All right, man. I was just yanking the old chain.
I just didn't understand what PSL was, but you're right. You're going to start hearing about it on the news, and it's the pumpkin spice latte apocalypse.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to start some fake news. I'm going to say pumpkin spice latte gives you coronavirus.
Dude.
Let's get rid of that shit now.
Yeah, you could say it's proven that people who drink pumpkin spice lattes tend to have more coronavirus cases because they're getting their pumpkin spice lattes in public.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, Matt.
Yes, sir. Tell me about your pickles.
Yeah. You had to go there. I thought you were going to say something about tickling pickles or something like that.
Or Pickle Rick. Pickle Rick is my favorite. I think he should have made a cameo in this. That would have been great.
Matt, what did you think about Seth Rogen's character that was making the app, the computer app, and he just didn't want to release it because he didn't think it was perfect enough, and it was like 5 years or whatever in development?
The real question is, what did you think of it? Because you're the developer here, Mike, not me. I'm just a slave to the man.
I thought it was a little bit ridiculous to try and make an app for 5 years about some fairly niche market.
If a food is ethical, I thought it was hilarious. That was a good part. That was a funny part. Some of that stuff, like the social commentary stuff in this movie, was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I thought they were going to explain a little bit more about how his parents died, because that kept coming back and back as like a story point, but they really didn't go into it.
No, they didn't. And that seemed like it got edited out or something. Like
Maybe.
It seemed like there was going to be more explanation, and then it stopped.
I thought there would have been more of the family dynamic as well. And there was some, but not like a ton.
Oh, man. What did you think of... I enjoyed the part with the Cossacks.
Yeah. The billboard? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? Like vanilla vodka or coffee vodka or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was funny. And how the family plot is like right underneath a two-lane, not a two-lane, but like under a stack, like a big highway, like two highways. He's like, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's old, and like they just basically moved it around. I liked some of that stuff, but yeah, this movie just was lacking. I wanted it to have more.
Yeah, I wanted it to be funnier. I mean, you can have the mean parts in there, you can have them attacking each other, but you need to be equally funny. And I didn't get that. I did not get that from this film. There are parts that are really funny and hilarious, like, you know, when Herschel first starts selling his pickles, his trash pickles. And
oh yeah.
Again, it's just a stereotype, but the first people that walk up and buy them is like a gay couple, and they're like asking about how if it's farm raised and preservatives and all this other stuff, and it's just like you can't get away from that stuff in today's society. Like everybody does that about everything. It's like, really? Again, this was clearly shot and filmed and done before coronavirus, but
yeah, it was funny, man. That was funny.
The social commentary is pretty good. And then, of course, he's a food critic, and he blows up, you know?
Well, he just, I don't know, he tweeted, and he had like a ton of like followers or whatever. Yeah, but it adds to the story, because otherwise the other Seth Rogen wouldn't have escalated and stuff. So, yeah. It was fun. I love they're like, oh, you can get interns. You don't have to pay them. And I was like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's another one. There's parts that are really smart and really funny, but overall, it's not to the typical Seth Rogen level or that kind of comedy level. I mean, I don't know. I think I've said it enough, but
yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's just okay. Yeah.
It's nothing special.
Yeah, nothing special.
You know, it's not like I don't know, Pineapple Express or Super Bad.
That was a good one.
Or even some people thought it was okay. The first one was pretty good. The second one not so much. Was Neighbors.
Oh, actually, I enjoyed Neighbors.
Neighbors was fun. The first one was really fun.
Like,
the second one was kind of. But again, another great quality Seth Rogen flick, and that's a more newer one too.
Yeah, and that had the fun back and forth.
It was great. And that was, that's a great comparison as Neighbors to this, because that was mean, but it was funny.
Yeah, and it had a back and forth element, and this one did too, but it was just sometimes it wasn't funny, or it was, I don't know, it was just dark.
Yeah, it was just awful.
So
just downright cruel.
All right, Matt.
Speaking about being cruel, how many reels, Mike?
Oh, yeah. That's true. I'm going to give this 2 reels. Feeling nice.
Well, Mike, I am glad that we are back on track, because I gave it 2.5.
Ooh, good. I was going to be like, oh no, is he do 2 as well? I should have gotten 1.5.
No. We're good.
Oh, okay.
We're good. We're just back on track. I'm not lower than you for a change.
Okay, good.
So, all right. Well, next week, I think we're going to try. We'll talk about it a little bit more when we get closer to the end of the podcast. But what happened with King, singular,
the King of Staten Island.
And we are hoping to get to that film sooner or later for our avid listeners. But until then, if it happens, we'll do that next week. If not, we're going to fill a request from my nephew who is going back to school at Northern Arizona University here in Flagstaff soon. So I figured let's do his request. He requested Public Enemies starring Johnny Depp, which is currently streaming on the old Netflix.
Yeah, Public Enemies. Well, Matt, this is pretty much the end of the podcast. Do you want to talk about more?
The end of the podcast.
About the King of Staten Island, and I can give you a little bit.
Mike, I'll let you talk about it since I've been doing way too much talking and you're falling asleep.
Okay, so everybody, we had a little bit of miscommunication with the marketing people for The King of Staten Island, and we thought we were going to have some Blu-rays to give away this week and be able to review this movie actually this week. But looks like it has just been released on the video on demand services, and we would like to give it just a little bit of a shout out. This movie's from celebrated comedic director Judd Apatow, starring Saturday Night Live breakout Pete Davidson. Comes a bracing comedy about love, loss, and laughter on Staten Island. Rolling Stone quoted this as an emotional and comic knockout. So that's a little bit of a preview of it, but we're still not 100% sure what we're going to have for you. So
according to the internets, it looks like it is going to be available to own, not rent, on digital and Blu-ray and DVD starting August 25th. So that might be a little bit for us, because I don't know. We'll see how that goes, but I'm hoping we get some giveaways. That would be really awesome to be able to give away a few more movies to our avid listeners. But let's see. Dude, Marissa Tomei's in it. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that, but
I didn't catch that she was in it. I've watched the trailer.
Okay.
Clearly, I wasn't paying enough attention. I'm sorry, Mike. Bill Burr. I like Bill Burr. He's cool. He was in The Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
He's a big time stand up comedian who's actually later in life started acting, which is cool.
Well, it's all about who you know, man.
Let's see. Features over 2 hours of hilarious, never before seen bonus content, including alternate endings, deleted scenes, and a gag reel. Everybody loves a good gag reel.
Nice.
Well, all right, Mike. I think that is it for the Real Film Nerds podcast, episode number 183, since I didn't say it before.
Oh, man. Yeah, I thought,
Is it 183?
I forgot to remind you, dude. Yeah,
I think it's 183. We're going with 183.
All right, 183. It is.
If it's not, we'll just have two 183s.
Well, everybody, thanks for listening, and go out there and watch all the movies that you can.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now go out and catch a movie.
Good morning, Magic 99.1. Who's this?
You don't know by now who this is? You really need to get caller ID.
You would die if I told you that I am the only radio station in North America that does not have caller ID on my telephone.
So basically what you're saying is that for all the youngins out there, or us oldins, I guess you would say, if you need to make a prank call, call Magic 99.1.
That is it. That's exactly what I'm telling you, Maddie.
Perfect. I love it.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing this morning, Lisa?
I'm doing good. Feeling good. Happy to be alive, my friend.
Well, good.
Yeah.
No head colds, no coughing, no sneezing, no nothing, right?
I feel amazing. It's amazing how good you can feel when you know how bad it could be, right?
That's true. I mean, I've had a lot of those philosophies in the past where, at least my life isn't like this. It's like this.
Right.
So,
Absolutely. It puts things in perspective for us, for sure. So
it does.
I'm sure you watched a movie, or did you just watch hockey and baseball and basketball all weekend long?
Oh, you know me, Lisa. I had to get a movie in, at least one.
What'd you watch?
Well, for some weird reason, everybody and their mom is coming out with a streaming service.
Yes.
So there is this new streaming service called HBO Max, which is confusing because it's HBO, but it's not HBO, but it is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
And they just released their very first original film done by Seth Rogen called An American Pickle.
Okay. Yep. And how was it?
It was a little strange. I'm sure you haven't heard of it.
I have not heard of it, but the title kind of lends to the fact that it could be a little strange.
Yeah, it's basically about an immigrant worker around 1919 is working in a pickle factory, slips and falls into a vat of brine and pickles, and is sealed inside the vat.
Hey, it's an original idea.
It's kind of original, but is sealed in the vat of pickles for 100 years.
Okay.
Some kids stumble upon the now shut down defunct pickle factory, and he magically gets up and is perfectly fine. The brine head kept him healthy and preserved for 100 years.
Oh my God, this is funny. Okay.
Yeah, it has its moments, but that's the thing. Like, Seth Rogen, he goes really slapsticky on a lot of the stuff, especially some of the stuff he writes.
Yeah.
This actually is kind of toned down for a Seth Rogen film, and then it starts getting like towards the middle and end, it starts getting like really mean. Like they're really going at each other, because what it is 100 years later, he wakes, the pickle guy is how I'm going to refer to him.
Okay.
Wakes up, and he only has one relative, and it's his great-great-grandson. So him and his great-great-grandson, he moves in to take care of him, and then things start going south, and they start going at each other really bad.
Oh, man. I'm intrigued, I have to say.
It's a little strange. It's not as funny as I anticipated, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
Okay, all right.
He really toned down the slapstick, but it's definitely meaner and a little darker than I thought it was going to be.
Okay, all right. Yeah, with that title, you wouldn't think it would be dark.
No, but they really, the great-grandson and the great-grandfather really start going at each other as they progress towards the end of this film.
Yeah.
And then they reconcile at the end, like all good movies. But it still was, wow.
Okay. Too much like real life, right? Kinda?
I mean, definitely. The next time my great-grandfather wakes up out of a vat of pickle brine, I'm going to be nice to him.
Be nice to him, Matt. How many reels are you going to give it?
I give it 2.5. I mean, it was fun. It was okay. It's not a must-see. I don't know. If you don't have HBO Max, it's definitely not going to make you want to go get it.
Okay, fair enough.
So, one last little tidbit. If you don't have HBO Max, but you subscribe to a cable or satellite provider, you might be able to log in through your cable or satellite provider and watch this film and many other shows if you want.
Oh, okay. So that's something to check out. That's a nice little hack tip there. Appreciate it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. So I'm just getting the word out because that's how I did it.
Very good. Very good. You guys catch Matt's podcast. You can tell he's very entertaining. It's called The Real Film Nerds, and you can hear him here every Monday morning on what station, Maddie?
On Magic 99.1, the only station with no caller ID.
You got that one right.